I spent 4 months planning my son Michael's birthday party, 4 months picking every detail, spending my savings, canceling my own plans. The night of the celebration, I waited for 5 hours in my house, dressed up with the table set, surrounded by decorations nobody would see. They never showed up, not one of them. The next day, I found out the truth. While I was waiting alone, my son, my daughter-in-law Lucy, my daughter Emily, and the whole family were in Cancun celebrating without me. When Michael finally sent me a voicemail, he was laughing. "Oh, Mom, don't be mad. We just wanted to keep you busy so you wouldn't feel lonely. It was for your own good." I didn't respond. I didn't argue. I just waited. A week later, they called 47 times in 1 hour. I only replied with a single text. "I'm very busy right now." They had no idea what I had just done, but to understand how I got to that moment, I need to go back to the beginning. I need to tell you who I was before that night, before the betrayal, before freedom. My name is Irene. I'm 66 years old. I've been a widow for 8 years, a mother of 2, a grandmother of 3. For 35 years, I worked as an elementary school teacher in a public school. I retired at 60 with a modest but decent pension. I thought retirement would be my time to rest, to travel, to do all those things I put off for decades while raising my kids alone after my husband died of a sudden heart attack. How naive I was. My routine since retirement hasn't changed much. It just shifted. Before I taught children in a classroom. Now I watch my 3 grandchildren almost every day. I pick them up from school, I make them snacks, I help them with their homework, I take them to the park, I give them baths, I put them to bed. Lucy, my daughter-in-law, always has something important to do. A meeting, a class, an outing with friends, and I am always available. I always say yes. On Mondays and Wednesdays, I watch my daughter Emily's house while she works. I clean, I water the plants, I sign for packages. Sometimes I stay until 8 at night waiting for her to get home because she forgot her keys again. Emily is an executive at a marketing firm. She makes good money. She lives in an apartment 3 times bigger than mine, but she never has time for anything. I'm the one who has time. I'm the one who always can. On weekends, I organize the family lunches. I cook for 12 people. I buy everything. I prepare everything. I clean everything. They show up, eat, criticize if the meat is overcooked or if the rice is too dry, and then they leave. I stay behind gathering plates until 11 at night, packing up leftovers they never come back for. I live alone in a 2-bedroom apartment in a quiet neighborhood. The walls are covered in family photos. My grandchildren smiling. Michael and Emily at their graduations. My husband frozen in time. Forever 48. Sometimes I look at those photos and wonder, when was the last time someone took a picture of me? When was the last time someone really asked me how I was, expecting a real answer? 6 months ago, I tried to sign up for a painting class. I've always loved to draw ever since I was a little girl. I never had time to develop it. I found a beautiful studio with a teacher who showed in galleries a small group of women my age. I was so excited I paid the registration in advance, $350 for 3 months. The classes were on Saturday afternoons. I went to 2 classes, only 2. Then Emily asked me to watch the kids on Saturdays because she had gotten a new project and needed to work weekends. I explained about the class. She looked at me like I was speaking another language. "Mom, it's just for a few weeks. You can pick it up later. The class isn't going anywhere." The class didn't go anywhere. But my spot did, and my money too. There was no refund. I have one friend, one true friend. Her name is Sarah. We met 40 years ago when our kids were in the same kindergarten class. Sarah is a widow too, but she's different. When her husband died, she sold everything and bought a small condo near the beach. She travels twice a year. She takes yoga classes. She goes dancing with a group of friends on Fridays. She always invites me. I can never go. I always have something. Someone always needs me. "Irene," Sarah tells me every time we meet, "your children are adults. They have their own lives. When are you going to live yours?" I laugh. I tell her she's exaggerating, that it's normal for a mother to help. That's what we're for, that they need me. Sarah looks at me with that mix of pity and frustration I know so well. "They don't need you, Irene. They use you." There's a difference. I change the subject. I always change the subject. The truth I don't want to admit is that I'm scared. Scared to say no and have them stop calling me. Scared to set boundaries and be truly alone. After my husband died, my children became my reason for living. And now my grandchildren. If I'm not the available grandmother, the helpful mother, the one who always solves everything, then what am I? Who am I? Then February came. Michael was turning 38 in June. One Tuesday afternoon while I was watching his kids, he came home early. He sat across from me at the kitchen table with that smile he's had since he was a boy, the one he uses when he wants something. "Mom, I need to ask you a huge favor." Michael has this expression I've known since he was a child. Bright eyes, charming smile, soft voice. It's the same face he made when he wanted me to buy him something expensive, or when he needed me to get him out of trouble at school. It always worked. It always works. "What do you need, son?" I dry my hands on my apron. I had just finished making snacks for the kids. Sandwiches, fresh juice, fruit cut into fun shapes. Things Lucy never has time to do. This year I want to do something special for my birthday. Something memorable. I'm turning 38, you know, and I feel like I need to celebrate big. He leans back in his chair, relaxed as if he's in his own house. Technically he is, I guess. I spend more time here than in my own apartment. "How nice, son, and what are you thinking?" I ask while putting away the clean dishes. "That's where you come in, Mom." He leans forward. "I want an incredible party, but Lucy is swamped with work, and you know Emily always busy. I thought maybe you could help me plan it. Well, not help me. Plan the whole thing, actually." He laughs like it's a joke, but we both know he's serious. I feel that familiar knot in my stomach. That mix of pride because he needs me, and exhaustion because this is exactly what's coming. "A whole party, Michael, that's a lot of work, and it's expensive." "I know, Mom, I know. But nobody does it like you. I remember the parties you threw when we were kids. Everything was always perfect. And don't worry about the money. Obviously, I'm going to pay." He waves his hand like it's no big deal. "I just need you to handle the details, okay? To coordinate everything. To make sure it's special." I should say no. I should explain that I have my own plans, my own things. But when I look at him, I see the boy I raised alone after his father died. I see all the times he needed me, and I was there. "When would it be?" "For June 15th. That gives you 4 months to prepare everything, no pressure." 4 months. He says no pressure, as if 4 months is an eternity. "And Mom, I want to invite like 50 people. Something elegant but fun, with good food, good music, good decorations. You get it." 50 people, elegant, good food. Every word is a $sign multiplying in my head. "Michael, that's going to cost a lot of money." "Are you sure you can afford it?" "Sure, Mom, I'll give you the money as we go. Don't worry about it." He gets up, gives me a kiss on the forehead. "I knew I could count on you. You're the best mom in the world." And he goes to his room, leaving me alone in the kitchen with a vague promise and a concrete responsibility. That night in my apartment, I can't sleep. I think about everything involved in planning a party for 50 people. The venue, the food, the decorations, the invitations, the music, the cake. I think about my painting class I never went back to. I think about the trip Sarah proposed we take together to the Rockies in May. I think about telling Michael I can't, but I don't. The next day, I start making lists. The first week, I research venues. I call 12 different places. The prices range from $200 to $4,000 just for the space rental. I send the options to Michael on WhatsApp. It takes him 3 days to reply. I don't know, Mom. Isn't there something nicer? Look for more options." I look for more options. The second week, Lucy gets involved. She sends me a message at 7 in the morning. "Irene, Michael told me you're planning the party. It's great you can help. I'm sending you a list of things I need you to consider." The list arrives 5 minutes later. It's a 3-page Word document. I read each point with growing disbelief. The flowers must be imported. No local flowers. The invitations must be printed on special paper with gold embossing. The food must include vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, lactose-free options, and a special kids menu with nothing processed. The decorations must follow a specific color palette, earth tones with gold accents. no silver, no bright colors. Everything has to be elegant and sophisticated but relaxed and cozy. I show the list to Sarah when she comes to visit that afternoon. She reads in silence, shaking her head. When she finishes, she looks at me over her glasses. "Irene, tell me this is a joke." "It's what they want for the party. And who is going to pay for all this? Because the imported flowers alone must cost like $500. Sarah puts the paper down on the table with more force than necessary. "Michael said he would pay." My voice sounds unconvinced even to me. "And has he given you anything so far?" Sarah knows me too well. She knows the answer before I speak. "Not yet, but he said he'd give it to me little by little." I get up to pour coffee, avoiding her gaze. "Irene, listen to me. This is not your responsibility. Michael is a grown man with a job. If he wants an expensive party, let him pay for it and plan it himself or hire someone. You are not his employee. You are not his secretary. You're his mother, and you've already done enough. He's my son, Sarah. If I can help him, why shouldn't I?" I pour the coffee, slowly concentrating on not spilling. There's a difference between helping and sacrificing, between giving a hand and giving your whole self. Sarah sighs. "But I know you're not going to listen to me. You never do when it comes to your kids. Just promise me one thing. If Michael doesn't give you the money, do not take it from your savings. Promise me." I promise. It's a lie. We both know it. The third week I find the perfect place. An event hall with a garden capacity for 60 people, neutral decor. I can adapt. It costs $2,000 for 6 hours. I ask Michael to advance me at least half to make the reservation. "Mom, give me a few days. We're a little tight this month, but relax, I'll get it to you." 2 weeks pass. Michael doesn't mention the money. The venue calls saying if I don't make an $800 deposit in 3 days, I lose the reservation. I go to the bank. I take $800 from my savings account. The account where I kept money for emergencies. The account I had planned to use for that trip with Sarah. I make the deposit at the venue. I sit in my car in this bank parking lot for 20 minutes, staring at the receipt, wondering what I just did. With the venue booked, the demands multiply. Lucy messages me every day, sometimes at 6 in the morning, sometimes at 11 at night, always with the same tone, like she's my boss giving me work instructions. "Irene, did you contact the florist I recommended? Remember, the flowers need to arrive on the day of early, so they're fresh. And confirm they are exactly the ones I asked for, no substitutions." I call the florist she recommended. It's an exclusive boutique in the most expensive neighborhood in the city. The woman who helps me speaks with a refined accent that makes me feel small. I explain what I need. She gives me the price, $950 just for the flowers. I feel the air leave my lungs. "Do you have anything cheaper local flowers that look just as good?" The woman gives a polite laugh. "Ma'am, the flowers your daughter-in-law is requesting are imported from Ecuador. There are no local substitutes that look the same. If you want something cheaper, I can offer other options, but they won't be what she asked for." I message Michael explaining the cost. He replies 6 hours later. "Oof, so expensive. But well, if that's what Lucy wants. Go ahead, Mom. I'll pay you back." He doesn't mention when. He doesn't mention how. Just, "I'll pay you back," as if it were $20 and not almost $1,000. I take another $1,000 from my savings. I place the order for the flowers. When I leave the flower shop, my hands are shaking. I've already spent $1,800. Michael hasn't given me a dime. That night, Emily calls. "Mom, is it true you're organizing a huge party for Michael?" Her voice sounds halfway between curious and annoyed. "Why do you do these things for him, and you never did anything like this for my birthdays?" "Emily, you never asked me to organize something like this." I'm tired. It's 10 at night and I've been calling vendors all day. Because I know it's too much to ask. Mom, that's why I hired a planner when I had my 30th. But of course Michael was always your favorite. He asks and you give. There's real resentment in her voice. Old, accumulated resentment. "That's not true, Emily. I don't have favorites. Michael asked me for help and I accepted. If you need something, you know I'm here for you too." "Sure, Mom, as always." And she hangs up. I'm left staring at the phone, feeling that familiar weight of never being enough, of never doing things right, of always disappointing someone. The fourth week, I start on the invitations. Lucy wants invitations printed on cotton paper with gold embossed lettering. She sends me the exact design she saw on Pinterest. I look for print shops. The cheapest one that does that kind of work charges $500 for 50 invitations. $500 for pieces of paper that people will throw in the trash after reading. I ask Michael if we really need such expensive invitations. Can't we do something digital? It's more ecological and more practical. He replies with a voice note. I can hear background noise like he's at a shopping mall. Oh, Mom, don't be so old-fashioned. Digital invitations are for casual parties. This is something elegant. Just do what Lucy asked, please. I don't want problems with her. He doesn't want problems with her, but he doesn't mind having them with me. I take out another $500. I'm already at $300. My savings account is emptying out. The account that took me years to fill, saving $100 a month from my pension. When the bank teller hands me the money, he asks if everything is okay. You've been making a lot of withdrawals lately, Mrs. Irene. Are you sure you're not being scammed? I want to laugh, to cry, to tell him the truth, but I just smile and tell him I'm organizing a family party. I take the invitations to be printed. They'll take 2 weeks. Meanwhile, Lucy sends me the guest list with addresses. She counts the invitations. I need 65, not 50. I forgot to count some of Michael's cousins and some friends from work who absolutely have to be there. I call the print shop. 15 additional invitations cost $120 more. I'm not even surprised anymore. I just say yes. The fifth week, I focus on the catering. Lucy wants a specific menu. Shrimp cocktail appetizers, a main course with 3 protein options, gourmet side dishes, an artisanal dessert table, and a 3-tiered hand-decorated cake. Everything must be prepared by a professional chef. No homemade food, no cheap buffets. I get quotes from 5 catering companies. The cheapest charges $3,200. The most expensive, $6,000. I send the options to Michael and Lucy. Lucy replies first. None of these companies convince me. Look for the one my cousin Adrian recommended. She hired them for her wedding, and the food was divine. She doesn't give me the name. She doesn't give me the contact info. Just the one my cousin Adrian hired, as if I'm supposed to guess. I ask Lucy for the contact. She sends it 2 days later. I call the company. A professional woman answers and asks me 1,000 questions about the event. Finally, she gives me the price. $400. I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. $400 for 50 people. The woman patiently explains that it's gourmet food, premium ingredients, a professional chef, full-service dishes included, as if that justifies it costing more than 3 months of my pension. I call Michael. For the first time, I dial his number instead of sending a message. He needs to hear my voice. He needs to understand this is getting out of control. He answers after 5 rings. Mom, I'm in a meeting. What's up? I hear voices in the background. Laughter. It doesn't sound like a work meeting. Michael, I need to talk to you about the catering. The one Lucy wants costs $400. That's too much. Son, we have to find something cheaper. Mom, I already told you I'll pay. Don't worry. He sounds impatient, distracted. But you haven't given me anything so far. Michael, I've already spent almost $3,000 of my savings. My voice breaks a little. I don't want to sound desperate, but I am. Mom, this month was complicated. We had some unexpected expenses, but I promise I'll pay you back everything before the party with interest if you want. He laughs. He laughs while I feel like I'm drowning in debts that aren't mine. I have to go now. We'll talk later. Okay. You're the best. I love you. And he hangs up. I stay sitting on my sofa, phone in hand, staring at the wall. On the wall, there's a picture of Michael at 5 years old. He's hugging me, smiling with that toothless grin. I remember that day. We had gone to the park. He had found a butterfly and was fascinated. He told me, Mom, when I grow up, I'm going to take care of you like you take care of me. You were 5 years old. You were sincere. At what point did that boy turn into this man who uses me without even realizing it? I hire the caterer Lucy wants. $5,400 that come directly out of my savings account. The bank manager looks at me with concern when I make the transfer. "Mrs. Irene, your account is getting very low. Are you sure about this transaction?" I tell him, "Yes, I'm sure, although inside I feel like I'm making the biggest mistake of my life." I leave the bank with a receipt in my hand and a pit in my stomach. I have spent $8,600 on a party that isn't even mine. That afternoon, Sarah comes to visit without calling first. She rings the bell insistently until I open. She finds me in my pajamas at 3 in the afternoon, surrounded by decoration catalogs, endless lists, calculator in hand. She looks at me and says nothing. She just hugs me. And there, in the arms of my only true friend, I finally cry. I cry for the money. I cry from the exhaustion. I cry because I feel used and unable to say no. "That's enough. Irene, you have to stop this." Sarah leads me to the sofa, sits me down, brings me water. "How much have you spent?" "Almost $9,000. My voice sounds small, ashamed. Sarah closes her eyes, takes a deep breath. When she opens them, I see contained fury. "And how much has Michael given you?" "Nothing yet, but he promised he'll pay me back everything." "Irene, for God's sake, wake up. You are never going to see that money again. You know that, right? Deep down, you know it." "You're right. I know, but admitting it out loud is too painful. He's my son, Sarah. I can't let him look bad in front of all his family and friends. And what about you? Can you afford to be without savings, without security? What if you have a medical emergency? What if you need that money for something important?" Sarah is almost yelling. I've never seen her so angry. "Your children are adults. They have jobs. They have money. If Michael wants a $9,000 party, let him pay for it, not you. I've already hired everything. I can't back out now." It's my last defense, and it sounds pathetic even to me. Sarah takes my hands. She looks me straight in the eyes. "Irene, listen to me. You still have time to cancel. Yes, you'll lose the deposits, but it's better to lose $2,000 than $9,000. Call Michael right now and tell him that either he takes control of this or you're canceling everything." I want to do it. I want to pick up the phone and tell Michael I can't anymore, but I imagine his disappointment. I imagine Lucy saying, "I knew your mom couldn't handle something like this." I imagine Emily confirming that I was always a better mother to Michael than to her. I imagine the judgment from the whole family, and I can't. I just can't. "I'm going to finish it. It's only 2 more months." I squeeze Sarah's hands. "After the party, I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to set boundaries. I promise you." Sarah lets go of my hands. She stands up, walks to the door. Before leaving, she turns around. "Don't promise me, Irene. Promise yourself, because you're the one paying the price for not knowing how to say no." And she leaves, leaving me alone with my catalogs and my guilt. The following weeks are a whirlwind of tasks. I need to hire a DJ. Lucy wants live music during dinner and a DJ after. I find a musician who plays guitar and sings. He charges $400 for 2 hours. The DJ charges $300, plus sound equipment. That's $900 more. I don't even ask Michael anymore. I just hire them and pay. The decor is another hell. Lucy wants centerpieces with floating candles, linen table runners, chairs dressed in cream-colored covers, hanging string lights, a personalized photo booth with Michael's name. I get a decorator who does complete packages, $200. I pay. The grandkids visit one afternoon while I'm watching Michael's kids. The oldest, Matthew, who is 8, asks me, "Grandma, is it true you're making a giant party for Dad?" I tell him yes. "And why are you doing it and not Dad?" The question is innocent, but it cuts me like a knife. "Because grandmas help when we can, sweetie." Matthew looks at me thoughtfully. "My friend Thomas says his grandma doesn't make parties. He says his grandma travels and does fun stuff. You don't travel, Grandma." I don't know what to answer. I think about the trip to the Rockies that I canceled. I think about all the places I wanted to see and never did. I think about my life permanently on pause while I wait for my children to stop needing me. I travel sometimes, Matthew, someday. It's a lie. We both know it. In mid-May, a month before the party, the demands reach absurd levels. Lucy decides the cake I had ordered isn't special enough. She wants a themed cake with handmade fondant figures representing Michael's hobbies. Canceling the original cake costs me a $100 penalty. The new cake costs $650. Total invested, $11,200. I wake up every morning with a knot in my chest. I check my bank account and see numbers that make me sick. I have less than $1,500 left in savings. $1,500 out of the nearly $20,000 I had 4 months ago. $20,000 I saved over 8 years. Gone. For a party for a son who barely calls me unless it's to ask for something. 2 weeks before the party, Emily asks me to watch the kids all weekend because she has a work retreat. I tell her I can't, that I'm busy organizing the final details for Michael's party. She gets upset. You always have time for Michael. For me, never. She hangs up without saying goodbye. I call Lucy to ask if she can watch her own kids that weekend. She laughs. Irene, I have a spa day booked with my friends. I've had it planned for months. It's my self-care time. I can't cancel. Self-care. She talks about self-care while I haven't had a day off in 4 months. I end up watching the grandkids. All weekend. While they play, I confirm vendors over the phone. While they sleep, I review lists. While they eat breakfast, I answer Lucy's messages with more last-minute changes. On Sunday night, when Emily comes to pick them up, she looks tan and relaxed. Thanks, Mom. I needed this break. You don't know how much. She doesn't ask how I am. She doesn't notice the dark circles under my eyes. She doesn't see the exhaustion. She just takes her kids and leaves. 1 week before the party, Michael finally mentions the money. He shows up at my house unannounced. Unusual. He sits at my kitchen table. He looks uncomfortable. Mom, about the party money. My heart leaps with hope. Maybe he's finally going to give me something. Maybe he recognizes everything I spent. The thing is, this month we had to pay off some old credit card debt, and Lucy needed some dental work. It was like $4,000. So I'm not going to be able to give you the money before the party like I thought. I'm speechless. $4,000 on Lucy's teeth while I emptied my savings account for his party. But relax, he continues, oblivious to my shock. After the party, I'll pay you back, little by little, in installments. How does that sound? Like $300 a month? That way in a year, I'll pay you back everything, and I won't get messed up financially. A year? He wants to pay me back in a year, if he even pays. Michael, I spent all my savings on this party. I have nothing left. My voice trembles. I need him to understand the seriousness of what I'm saying. I need him to see what he's doing to me. Michael scratches the back of his neck. Uncomfortable. Mom, don't exaggerate. You couldn't have spent everything. You must have something left. His tone is almost accusatory, as if I'm irresponsible with my money, as if I hadn't spent every cent on him. $11,200, Michael. $11,200 on your party. I have less than $1,500 in the bank. I take out my phone. I open the banking app. I show it to him. I need him to see the numbers, for them to be real for him. He glances at the screen and looks away. Well, but you still have your pension every month, right? It's not like you're going to starve. He laughs nervously. He actually laughs. Besides, Mom, think of it as an investment. This party is going to be incredible. Everyone's going to remember it, and all thanks to you. You should be proud. Proud. I should be proud of being left with no savings to inflate my son's ego. Michael, that money was for emergencies. What if I get sick? What if I need something urgent? Oh, Mom, always so dramatic. Nothing's going to happen to you. You're healthy as an ox. He stands up, gives me a quick kiss on the cheek. I have to go. Lucy's waiting for me. I'll see you at the party, okay? And Mom, really thanks for everything. You're one of a kind. And he leaves, leaving me alone in my kitchen with my phone in my hand and an emptiness in my chest that no amount of superficial gratitude can fill. That night I don't sleep. I stay awake staring at the ceiling doing mental math. My pension is $300 a month. I pay $500 for rent, $200 for utilities, $300 for food and basic expenses. That leaves me $300 for everything else. Medicine, clothes, unexpected costs, life, and now no savings, no safety net. At 66 years old, financially vulnerable for the first time since I became a widow, I get up at 4 a.m. There's no point in staying in bed. I make coffee and sit down in front of the computer. I check my email, something I rarely do. Between spam and ads, there's an email from 3 months ago I never opened. It's from an old colleague, Linda, who now works in a cultural exchange program. The subject line says, "Incredible opportunity for you, Irene." I open the email out of curiosity. Linda is writing to me about an exchange program for retired teachers. 6 months in Barcelona, Spain, working as an assistant in Spanish programs for foreigners. Housing included a monthly stipend of €800, medical insurance covered. "I thought of you immediately," Linda writes. "You always talked about traveling. This is your chance. Applications close in 1 week." I read the email 3 times. Barcelona, 6 months, housing included. A different life, even if temporary. I checked the date on the email. February 15th. Today is June 8th. Applications closed months ago. I missed the chance. Of course I missed it. I was too busy organizing centerpieces and picking out imported flowers to check my email to think about myself. I close the laptop. I go back to bed. But now something is different. There's a small seed of resentment that wasn't there before. Or maybe it was always there, but now it's growing impossible to ignore. The last few days before the party are chaotic. I confirm with every vendor, the venue, the caterer, the florist, the musician, the DJ, the decorator, the cake. Everything confirmed. Everything paid for. Everything perfect. Lucy checks every detail over video call, giving me instructions like I'm her supervisor. Remember, the flowers have to be there at 2 p.m. no later, and confirm the DJ has the exact songs from the list I sent you. Not one more, not one less. Yes, Lucy, I've already confirmed everything 3 times. I'm exhausted. Physically and emotionally exhausted. Perfect, Irene. I knew we could count on you. She pauses. Oh, and one more thing. Michael and I decided it would be nice if you could give a speech at the party, something emotional about him, as his mother. 3 or 4 minutes max. You can prepare something. A speech. They want me to, on top of planning, paying, and coordinating everything, also stand up in front of 50 people and praise my son who left me without savings. Of course, Lucy, I'll prepare it. Great. See you on Saturday, I can't wait. It's going to be epic. And she hangs up. Epic. It's going to be epic. On Thursday, 2 days before the party, I go to the venue for the final inspection. I check that everything is in order. I measure spaces for the centerpieces. I confirm where the photo booth will go, where the DJ, where the food tables. Everything is perfect. Everything is ready. I leave the venue feeling a strange mix of satisfaction and emptiness. 4 months of work culminating in a 6-hour event where I'll be just another guest, where I'll probably spend most of my time in the kitchen coordinating, making sure everything flows. Like always. On Friday, 1 day before the party, I buy a dress. I wasn't planning on buying anything new. I don't have money for whims. But I walk past a store and see an emerald green dress in the window. It's elegant, simple, pretty. I go in. I try it on. It fits well. It costs $120. $120 I shouldn't spend. But after spending $11,000 on others, what's $120 for me, I buy it. It's a small act of rebellion I don't even fully understand. That night, Sarah calls me. "How are you? Tomorrow's the big day." Her tone is careful, worried. "I'm fine. Everything's ready. Just have to wait for tomorrow and for everything to go perfectly." I try to sound cheerful, but my voice betrays me. "Irene, can you promise me something? Promise me that after tomorrow you will take time for yourself, that you'll rest, that you won't accept any more responsibilities that aren't yours." "I promise, Sarah. This time I mean it. This time I feel it. And promise me that if Michael doesn't pay you, you'll take action, that you won't let this happen again." "I promise." I don't know what action, but I promise. Saturday dawns sunny and beautiful. I wake up early, at 6. The party starts at 7 at night, but I have to be at the venue at 2 to supervise the setup. I shower. I put on makeup. I do my hair. I put on the emerald green dress. I look in the mirror and see a 66-year-old woman who looks tired but dignified. a woman who did the impossible for her son, a woman who deserves recognition, gratitude, respect. I get to the venue at 2 o'clock sharp. The decorating team is already working. The chairs are being dressed, the tables are being set up, the lights are being hung. I stay there supervising every detail. At 3, the flowers arrive. Perfect fresh, exactly as Lucy requested. At 4, the catering team arrives. They start preparing in the kitchen. I try some of the appetizers. They're delicious. Worth every penny, I think bitterly. At 5, the hall is transformed. It looks like something out of a magazine. The centerpieces glow with floating candles. The string lights create a magical atmosphere. The photo booth is perfect with Michael's name in gold letters. It is objectively beautiful. It's exactly what Lucy and Michael wanted. I sit in a chair and observe my work. 4 months of work. $11,000. All my effort materialized in this perfect room. At 6:30, the first guests start to arrive. Michael's cousins, who I barely know, friends from work I've never seen before, all of them elegant, smiling gifts in hand. They greet me politely. "Everything is so beautiful," they say. "What an incredible job," they say. Nobody asks who planned it. They assume it was a professional event planner. At 7 o'clock, Michael and Lucy make their grand entrance. He in a dark gray suit, she in a champagne-colored dress that probably cost more than my rent for 3 months. They look perfect, happy, excited. Michael sees me and comes toward me. He hugs me. "Mom, this is incredible. It exceeded all my expectations. You're the best." "Mom, this is incredible. It exceeded all my expectations. You're the best." Michael hugs me quickly, already distracted, looking around, greeting the guests who keep arriving. Lucy comes over, gives me 2 air kisses near my cheeks, careful not to ruin her perfect makeup. "Irene, it looks beautiful. Just how I imagined it." As if she had imagined it. As if she had done anything more than send me impossible lists on WhatsApp. Emily arrives 15 minutes late with her kids. She greets me in a hurry. "Mom, can you watch the kids during dinner? I want to sit peacefully with the adults." It's not a question. It's an instruction. Before I can answer, she's already left the kids with me and gone to the main table where they're serving glasses of champagne. The party goes exactly as I planned. The live music during dinner is perfect. The food is exquisite. The guests don't stop praising every detail. I overhear conversations. "Who planned this?" "It must have been so expensive. Michael always does things big." Michael, as if he had lifted a finger, as if he had spent a cent of his own money. At 9, Lucy finds me. "Irene, it's time for your speech." "Do you have it ready?" "I don't have it ready. I completely forgot she had asked me for a speech. I've been so busy coordinating, making sure the waiters are serving correctly, that the music isn't too loud, that the kids don't break anything, that I simply forgot I also had to speak." "Yes, of course. Give me a moment." I improvise in my head while Lucy takes the microphone and asks for quiet. "Before we cut the cake, we want Michael's mom, Irene, to say a few words. She is the heart of this family, and we wanted to give her this special moment." Polite applause. Everyone looks at me expectant. I take the microphone with trembling hands. I look at Michael, who smiles at me proudly. I look at Emily, who is checking her phone. I look at all these guests I don't even know. And for a moment, just one moment, I consider telling the truth. I consider telling them I spent all my savings on this night, that my son promised to pay me and gave me nothing, that I feel used, exhausted, invisible, but I don't, because I'm Irene, because I always do the right thing, because I don't want to ruin my son's night. When Michael was little, I begin with a soft voice. He always said that when he grew up he was going to do great things, and today, seeing him here surrounded by people who love him at this beautiful celebration, I see he kept his word. I'm proud of the man he's become. Happy birthday, son. I wish you many more years of happiness. Short, simple, with no real emotion. I hand back the microphone. More applause. Michael hugs me. "Thanks, Mom. I love you." He says it automatically, without weight, without meaning. The party continues. They cut the cake. It's beautiful, just as I ordered. $650 of fondant and sugar. Everyone takes photos. The photo booth is a hit. I see him uploading the photos to Instagram immediately. Hashtag best party of the year. Hashtag blessed. Hashtag family is everything. Family is everything. What irony. At 11 at night, I'm exhausted. I sit at a table in the back away from the noise. A second cousin of Michael's, who I barely know, comes up. "Excuse me, do you know where the bathroom is?" I point her in the right direction. She doesn't even know who I am. To her, I'm just another guest, maybe a distant aunt. No one knows I did all this. No one will. Sarah sends me a message. "How's it all going?" "It's almost over," I reply. "I think it goes until midnight." She messages back. "Hang in there. Tomorrow you rest. Tomorrow your life begins again." I want to believe her. At midnight, the party officially ends, but the guests take their time leaving. Finally, at 1 in the morning, the hall is empty. The cleaning crew starts to pick up. Michael and Lucy left half an hour ago, tired, happy, with bags full of gifts. Emily left too, taking her sleeping children. I stayed, to make sure everything was left in order. To return what needed to be returned. To close this chapter. I leave the venue at 1:30 in the morning. The cool night air hits my face. I take a deep breath. It's over. 4 months are over. $11,200 materialized in 6 hours of a party that's already in the past. I get in a taxi because I'm too tired to drive. The driver asks me, "Coming from a party? You look elegant." I tell him, "Yes, I'm coming from a birthday." "Did you have a good time?" he asks kindly. I don't know what to answer. Did I have a good time? I don't know what I had. I just know I'm empty. I get to my apartment at 2 a.m. I take off the emerald green dress. I take off the shoes that tortured my feet all night. I wash off my makeup, looking at myself in the mirror. I see an old, tired, sad woman. I see someone who lost herself trying to please others. I get into bed, but I can't sleep. I check my phone. 0 messages from Michael. 0 from Lucy. 1 from Emily. "Mom, I need you to watch the kids tomorrow. I have an important meeting. Can you be here at 9, Gay?" As if today never happened. As if I don't need to rest. As if I'm always available. I don't answer. I turn off the phone. I close my eyes. And in the darkness of my room, I make a decision. I don't know what it is yet. I just know something has to change. I can't go on like this. I don't want to go on like this. I wake up late on Sunday. At 11 in the morning, I have 17 missed calls, 12 from Emily, 5 from Michael. I check the messages. Emily is furious. "Mom, where are you?" "We agreed you'd watch the kids. I had to cancel my meeting because of you. This is so irresponsible of you." My fault. Irresponsible. Me, who spent 4 months being responsible for a party that wasn't even mine. Michael's messages are different. "Mom, amazing party. Everyone is still talking about how great it was." 3 hours later. "Mom, did you see the pictures we uploaded? They came out incredible." 1 hour later. "Mom, are you okay?" Emily says you're not answering. Neither of them mentions the money. Neither of them asks how I really am. They just want to know why I'm not available for Emily. I don't answer any messages. I make coffee. I sit on my small balcony overlooking the gray street. I drink my coffee in silence, feeling the warm sun on my face. And for the first time in months, I don't think about what I have to do for others. I think about me. I check my email again. I look for the message from Linda about the program in Barcelona. I reread the whole thing. At the end of the email, there's a postscript I hadn't seen. "P.S. If for some reason you missed this application, they open them twice a year. The next one is in September. I can send you the info when it opens." September. It's June. 3 months away. I search for the program online. I find the official website. I read every detail. 6 months in Barcelona, living in a shared apartment with other retired teachers, working 20 hours a week teaching Spanish, an €800 monthly stipend, medical insurance, the opportunity to travel Europe on weekends, a life completely different from this one, a life that is mine. I take my notebook, the same notebook where I made the endless lists for Michael's party. I tear out those pages, I rip them up, I throw them away. I start a new page. I write. My life, my plans, my decisions. I write in my new notebook. My life, my plans, my decisions. The words look strange on the paper, like they're in another language. It's been so long since my life revolved around others that I don't even remember what it means to make decisions just for me. But there they are, those words written in my own handwriting, a commitment to myself that I still don't know if I can keep. I spend all Sunday alone in silence. My phone doesn't stop ringing. Emily calls 6 more times, Michael 4. Lucy, 2. I don't answer any of them. I read a book I bought months ago and never opened. I make food just for myself, a simple salad that I eat slowly, savoring every bite. I go for a walk in my neighborhood, something I haven't done in years. I notice details I never saw before: a new bakery on the corner, a small park with wooden benches, a used bookstore. My neighborhood, where I've lived for 10 years and never really stopped to get to know because I was always running to my kids' houses. On Monday morning at 8, there's an insistent knock on my door. I know who it is before I open it. Emily is standing on the threshold, arms crossed and a furious expression. "Mom, can someone please tell me what's wrong with you? You've gone 2 days without answering. I thought something happened to you." "I'm fine. I just needed to rest." My voice sounds calm, almost indifferent. "Rest. Do you know the trouble you caused me? I had to cancel a very important meeting because you didn't show up to watch the kids." She walks into my apartment without an invitation, as she always does. "We didn't agree on anything, Emily. You sent me a message at 2 in the morning on Sunday asking me to watch your kids at 9. I never confirmed. But you always say yes. Why would this time be any different?" There's genuine confusion in her voice. She really doesn't understand why this time I wasn't automatically available. "Because I was tired. I spent 4 months planning your brother's party. I needed a day for myself." I pour myself coffee. I don't offer her any. Another small act of rebellion. "Oh, Mom, but the party is over. It's done. I don't understand why you're still tired." Emily sits on my sofa, picks up my TV remote, looks it over distractedly. "Besides, it was just planning a party. It's not like you built a house." Just planning a party. $11,200 reduced to just planning a party. "Emily, I spent all my savings on that party. $11,200 that your brother promised to pay back, and he hasn't given me anything." Emily looks up from the remote. $11,000, Mom. Please, you're exaggerating. You must be counting wrong." "I'm not exaggerating. I have all the receipts. I can show them to you if you want." I go to my room. I bring back the folder where I kept every receipt, every invoice, every transfer. I put it in front of her. "See for yourself." Emily opens the folder reluctantly. She skims a few papers. Her expression gradually changes from skepticism to shock. "Mom, why did you spend so much $950 imported flowers, a $650 cake, $500 invitations? This is insane." "It was what Lucy wanted, what your brother approved. I just followed their orders." My voice is cold now, a coldness I had never used with my children. "Well, you should have said no. You should have set boundaries. Nobody forced you to spend all that." Emily closes the folder. She hands it back to me like it's burning her, as if the problem is mine for not knowing how to say no, not theirs for taking advantage. "You're right. Nobody forced me. I decided to do it because I'm his mother and I wanted your brother to have the party he wanted. But now I have no savings. I have nothing. And your brother doesn't mention when he's going to pay me." "Well, that's a problem between you and Michael. It has nothing to do with me." Emily stands up, smoothing her skirt. "I came to talk about yesterday, not your financial problems. The problem with yesterday is that I need you to respect my time. You can't take me for granted. You can't assume I'm always going to be available." The words come out firmer than I expected. Emily looks at me like she doesn't recognize me. "What's wrong with you, Mom? This isn't you. You're acting very weird." "I'm acting like someone who realized she's 66 years old and has no more time to waste." I stand my ground even though I'm shaking inside. "Wow. Okay. Message received. I see we're just a burden to you now. We who have always been there for you. Emily walks to the door. When you get over this tantrum, let me know. And she leaves, slamming the door harder than necessary. I sit on the sofa in the same spot Emily was sitting. My hands are shaking. I just had my first real confrontation with my daughter. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just spoke my truth. And it feels terrifying and liberating at the same time. An hour later, Michael calls. I answer because I know if I don't, he'll show up at my door like Emily. Mom, Emily told me you two are fighting. What happened? We're not fighting, Michael. I just told her I can't be available all the time, that I need them to respect my space. But Mom, it's your granddaughter. How can you say no to watching your own grandkids? His tone is one of genuine bewilderment. Michael, I need to talk to you about something important, about the party money. I take a deep breath. I spent $1,200, all my savings. You promised me you would pay me back, and it's been 2 days, and we haven't talked about it. There's a long silence on the other end. Then I hear Michael sigh. Mom, yeah, I know. And I'll pay you. But you have to understand, we're a little tight right now. Just give me a few months, okay? Don't be impatient. I'm not being impatient. I'm being realistic. I have no savings, Michael. If I have an emergency, I have no way to cover it. Mom, nothing is going to happen. Stop being so negative. Besides, look on the bright side. The party was incredible. Everyone is still talking about it. That's priceless. He really believes it. He really thinks his friend's comments are worth more than my $11,000. It has a price for me, Michael. $1,200, and I need you to pay me back. My voice is firm. Oh, Mom, I get it. I'll pay you. But don't pressure me. You're stressing me out. He's stressed. He who didn't spend a cent, who didn't lift a finger, who just enjoyed himself while I was left without a financial future. Michael, I need a specific date. When are you going to start paying me? I insist. I don't know, Mom. When I can. I can't give you an exact date. Things are tough financially. You understand. Another silence. I have to go. I'm at work. I'll talk to you later. Yes, Michael, wait. He hangs up before I can finish. I'm left staring at the phone. I'll talk to you later. It's always later. I'll pay you later. We'll see later. We'll fix it later. A later that never comes. A later that is a polite way of saying never. That afternoon, I do something I've never done before. I dial the number of a lawyer. One that Sarah recommended to me years ago when she told me I should make a will. His name is Frank. He's my late husband's younger brother. We get along, but we barely see each other. He answers on the third ring. Irene, what a surprise. How are you? Hello, Frank. I need to ask you something, as a lawyer. My voice trembles a little. Of course, tell me. What do you need? His tone immediately turns professional. I tell him everything. The party, the money, Michael's broken promises, my empty account. Frank listens without interrupting. When I finish, there's a heavy silence. Irene, do you have it all documented? Receipts, transfers, messages where Michael promised to pay you. I have all the receipts, but the messages... Michael always told me things over the phone or in person. On WhatsApp, he only gave me instructions on what to hire, but he never put in writing that he would pay. That complicates things legally. Without written proof that it was a loan or that he committed to paying you, it's hard to make a claim. Frank pauses. But Irene, do you really want to take this legal? He's your son. I don't know what I want, Frank. I just know I can't go on like this. I let them drain me completely, and they don't even care. My voice breaks. I don't know what I want, Frank. I just know I can't go on like this. I let them drain me completely, and they don't even care. My voice breaks. For the first time since this all started, I cry in front of someone who isn't Sarah. I cry to my late husband's brother, practically a stranger in my daily life, because he's the only person who seems to understand the gravity of my situation. Irene, listen to me. Legally, it's complicated, but there's something more important you need to consider. Do you want to keep being the person everyone uses when they need something? Because if you don't put a stop to it now, This is going to keep happening over and over and over again. Frank speaks with a gentleness that disarms me. My brother, may he rest in peace, always told me you were too good, that you sacrificed too much for the kids. And I used to tell him that's what good mothers do. But now I realize he was right. There's a difference between being a good mother and being an emotional doormat. Emotional doormat. The words hit me like a slap in the face. But they're true. Painfully true. What do I do, Frank? I already told them they can't take me for granted. I already confronted Emily and Michael. But nothing changed. They still expect me to be available. They still don't care about the money I lost. Then you have to do something more drastic, something that shows them you're serious. Frank pauses. Do you have a plan? Something you've always wanted to do and always put off for them. I tell him about the program in Barcelona, about the 6 months teaching Spanish, about the chance I lost in February because I was too busy with the party, about the next application in September. But I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can leave them for half a year. Why can't you? Your kids are adults. They have their own lives, their own resources. They don't need you, Irene. They use you, which is very different. Frank speaks with a clarity that I appreciate and fear at the same time. If you really want to change this dynamic, you have to do something you've never done. Put yourself first, radically. That night, I don't sleep. I think about Barcelona. I think about 6 months of freedom. I think about being just Irene, not mom, not grandma, not the free party planner, just Irene, a 66-year-old woman who still has time to live her own life. The idea terrifies and excites me in equal measure. On Tuesday morning, I make a decision. I find Linda's email and write to her. Dear Linda, I'm sorry I didn't reply to your email in February. I was busy with family matters. Is the September application still on? I would like to apply. Please send me all the necessary information. Thank you, Irene. I send the email before I can regret it, before the guilt can paralyze me, before the voice in my head that sounds like Emily tells me I'm being selfish. 2 hours later, Linda replies, Irene, so great to hear from you. Yes, the application opens on September 1st. I'm sending you all the info. It's a simple process. Fill out an application, send your resume, a letter of motivation, and have a valid passport. Selections are announced on September 15th, and the program starts on October 1st. Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Am I ready? I don't know, but I want to be. I spend the next week preparing in silence. I update my resume, something I hadn't done since I retired. I write a letter of motivation, explaining why I want to participate in the program. I don't mention my children. I don't mention the party. I just write about me, about my love for teaching, about my desire to see other cultures, about wanting to feel useful in a way that fulfills me, not just others. During that week, Michael calls me 3 times asking me to watch the kids. All 3 times I tell him I can't. I don't give long explanations. Just, I can't. The 3rd time he gets frustrated. Mom, what's gotten into you lately? You've always watched the kids. Why are you being so difficult now? I'm not being difficult, Michael. I just have other things to do. I don't tell him what things. I don't owe him explanations. What things? What could you possibly have to do that's more important than your grandkids? There's genuine indignation in his voice. My own things, Michael. Things that have to do with my life. And I hang up before he can keep questioning me. Emily tries to communicate too. She sends me passive-aggressive messages. I see you're very busy for your family now. I hope whatever you're doing is worth it. The kids ask for you, but I guess your things are more important. I don't answer any of them. Every ignored message is an act of self-preservation. Sarah comes to visit on Friday. I tell her about Barcelona, about my plan, about the emails with Linda. Her eyes fill with tears. Irene, you don't know how long I've waited for this moment. How many times I prayed you would wake up and realize you deserve more. She hugs me tight. Are you going to tell them Michael and Emily? Not yet. First, I want to make sure I get accepted into the program. There's no point in causing a huge scene if I don't even get selected in the end. It's an excuse. The truth is I'm afraid to tell them. Afraid of their reaction. afraid of disappointing my children, even when they have no problem disappointing me. And if you get accepted, are you going to leave without telling them? Sarah knows me too well. I don't know, maybe. Maybe it's easier that way. I think out loud. Leave them a letter, explain it in writing, without having to see their faces of betrayal when I tell them I'm leaving for 6 months. Irene, they're going to be furious either way, whether you tell them in person or by letter. The difference is if you tell them in person, you'll have to put up with their manipulation, their attempts to make you feel guilty, their fake tears. Sarah takes my hands. Do whatever is easiest for you. For once in your life, do what is easiest for you. On September 1st, exactly as Linda promised, the application's open. I fill out the application with trembling hands. I attach my resume. I attach my letter of motivation. I attach the copy of my passport I got last week. I check everything 3 times. I take a deep breath, and I press send. Confirmation of receipt. Your application has been received. Results will be announced on September 15th via email. Thank you for your interest in the Barcelona Cultural Exchange Program. September 15th, 2 weeks to wait. 2 weeks of uncertainty. 2 weeks of keeping this secret while my children keep calling me, asking me for things, expecting me to go back to being the person I was. During those 2 weeks, something strange happens. Michael finally mentions the money. He calls me one Wednesday afternoon. Mom, about what I owe you for the party, I've been thinking. What if instead of paying you in cash, I compensate you in other ways? For example, I'll take you to the supermarket once a month and pay for your groceries. Or I'll take you out to eat. That way we're paying the debt, but in a more, how do I put it, a more family way. I'm speechless for a moment. $1,200 turned into grocery trips. My financial security reduced to occasional lunches. Michael, I need the money, in cash. I don't need you to pay for my groceries. I need to get my savings back. Oh, Mom, but it's the same thing. In the end, it's money I'm saving you. He sounds almost offended that I don't appreciate his generous offer. It's not the same thing, Michael. The supermarket costs me $200 a month. At that rate, it would take you almost 5 years to pay me back. And that's assuming you actually do it every month. I do the math out loud coldly. Well, give me a better idea then, because I don't have $11,000 stuffed under my mattress right now. His tone turns defensive. The idea is that you pay me like you promised, in installments if necessary, but in real money, not in favors, not in lunches, in bank transfers. I am firm, firmer than I have ever been. Fine, Mom, fine. I'll see what I can do, but don't pressure me so much. You're making me feel like a bad son. And there it is, the classic manipulation, making me feel guilty for asking for what is rightfully mine. Michael, you are my son, and I love you. But this is not negotiable. I need my money back. And I hang up. On September 15th, I wake up at 6 in the morning, even though the notification won't arrive until 10 according to the email they sent. I can't sleep. I can't eat breakfast. I can only pace back and forth in my apartment, checking my email every 5 minutes, as if that will make the answer come faster. Sarah sends me a message. Breathe. Whatever the result, you're going to be fine, but I know they're going to accept you. I can feel it in my bones. At 10:17 in the morning, the email arrives. Subject, result of your application, Barcelona program. My hands are shaking so much I can barely open the message. I read the first line. Dear Irene, we are pleased to inform you that you have been selected to participate in the Barcelona Cultural Exchange Program. I cover my mouth with my hands. The tears start to fall uncontrollably. I was selected. Out of 120 applicants, they chose 30, and I'm one of them. The program starts on October 1st, exactly 16 days away. 16 days to get my life in order, pack, prepare everything, and face my children with the news. I call Sarah immediately. She screams with excitement when I tell her, I knew it. I knew they'd accept you. Irene, this is incredible. This is what you needed. When are you going to tell Michael and Emily? I don't know. Soon. I have to tell them soon because I need to make arrangements. I need someone to look after my apartment while I'm gone. I think out loud. Maybe Frank can help me with that. Irene, are you going to tell them in person or by letter? Sarah gets straight to the point I've been avoiding. I don't know. I'm afraid to tell them in person. I'm afraid they'll convince me not to go, that they'll make me feel so guilty I'll end up canceling everything. I admit my biggest fear. Then do it by letter, or by message, whatever way gives you peace. They didn't give you peace when they asked you to plan that party. They don't deserve any consideration now. Sarah is harsh, but fair. I spend the next 3 days organizing everything in silence. I call Frank and explain the situation. He immediately offers to look after my apartment. Irene, I think it's perfect that you're doing this. You need this change. And don't worry about anything here. I'll take care of it. I ask him if he can also receive any transfers from Michael in case he finally decides to pay me. Frank laughs bitterly. Of course, although we both know that's not going to happen. I start packing. I pull my old suitcase out of the closet, the same suitcase I used 20 years ago on my last trip. A family vacation to the beach where I spent the whole time watching kids and cooking for everyone. Now I fill it with clothes just for me. Books I want to read, blank notebooks to write in, a life contained in 50 pounds. On September 20th, 11 days before my departure, I finally make the decision. I'm not going to tell them in person. I'm going to write a letter and leave it in my apartment. They'll find it when they come looking for me, as they always do when I don't answer the phone. It's cowardly, maybe, but it's also survival. I sit in front of my computer and start to write. Dear Michael and Emily, when you read this letter, I will be on my way to Barcelona, Spain. I was accepted into a cultural exchange program for retired teachers. I will be gone for 6 months until the end of March. I know you're angry. I know you feel betrayed because I didn't tell you anything. But I need you to understand something. The last few years of my life have completely revolved around you. Around your needs, around your kids, around your problems. I put off everything of my own because there was always something more important, something more urgent that required my attention. Michael's party was the last straw. I spent $200 of my savings, everything I had. And when I asked you to pay me, you treated me like I was exaggerating, as if my financial security didn't matter, as if I didn't matter. I'm not angry with you. Well, yes, I am angry. But more than that, I'm tired. Tired of being invisible. Tired of only being wanted when you need something. Tired of living a life that isn't mine. These 6 months are for me. To remember who I am beyond being your mother. To do something I want to do, not something I have to do. To finally live my own life. Frank has the keys to the apartment and will look after everything while I'm gone. If Michael finally decides to pay me what he owes, he can make the transfers to the account Frank will give you. I love you. I will always love you. But I need to love myself too. And that's something I forgot how to do. See you in March, Mom. I read the letter 5 times. I cry each time, but I don't change a word. It's honest. It's necessary. It's my truth. I print 2 copies, one for Michael, one for Emily. I leave them in envelopes on my living room table. Next to them, I leave the spare keys they have because I no longer want them entering my space whenever they feel like it. I give the only set of keys to Frank. The last few days before I leave are surreal. Michael calls me twice, asking me to watch the kids. I tell him I can't, I'm busy. He suspects nothing. Emily sends me messages asking if I'm over my tantrum and if we can talk. I don't respond. Sarah helps me finish packing and comes with me to do last-minute shopping. Power adapters, a Barcelona guidebook, a new notebook for a diary. The night of September 30th, the eve of my flight, Sarah comes to my apartment. She brings a bottle of wine and we make a toast. To you, Irene, to your courage, to your new life. We clink glasses. We drink. We cry. We laugh. Promise me you'll send me pictures of everything. Of every museum, every street, every new food you try. I promise. And I promise that when I come back, I'm going to be different. I'm not going to be the Irene who let herself be used. I say it with conviction. Don't come back. Irene, stay there if it makes you happy. Or come back and live at the beach. Or learn to paint and open a studio. Do whatever you want. Just don't go back to that cage you built for yourself. Sarah hugs me tight. You're my hero. You know that, right? On October 1st at 5 a.m, the taxi I hired arrives at my door. I load my suitcase. I look at my apartment one last time. The letters are still on the table. My children will probably find them this afternoon when they realize I'm not answering the phone. By then, I'll be flying over the Atlantic. The flight is long, but I don't care. I read, I sleep, I look out the window at the endless clouds. I think about what I left behind and what's waiting for me. For the first time in years. The future doesn't scare me. It gives me hope. I land in Barcelona at 9 a.m. Local time. The sun is shining. The air smells different. Everything is new, unknown, exciting. A program coordinator meets me at the airport with a sign that says my name. She takes me to the apartment I'll share with 2 other retired teachers, one from Argentina and one from Chile. The apartment is small, but bright with balconies overlooking a street full of life. I unpack slowly, savoring every moment. I put my clothes in the closet, my books on the shelf, my picture of Sarah on the nightstand. This room is mine. This time is mine. This life is mine. At 2 p.m. Barcelona time, my phone explodes. 47 missed calls, 32 from Michael, 15 from Emily, dozens of messages. Mom, where are you? Mom, answer. Mom, this doesn't make any sense. How could you do this to us? You're selfish. The kids are crying. Come back immediately. I can't believe you abandoned us. I read every message with a calm that surprises me. I don't feel guilt. I just feel a deep peace. I send them a single message, both of them. I'm very busy right now. See you in March. Take care. And I turn off the notifications. That afternoon, I go for a walk on Las Ramblas. The bustle of the city surrounds me. Tourists, street performers, the smell of food laughter in different languages. I sit at a cafe. I order a coffee. I watch the people pass by. Nobody knows me here. Nobody knows I'm a mother, a grandmother, the free party planner. I'm just Irene, a 66-year-old woman having coffee in Barcelona on a Tuesday afternoon. I take out my new notebook. I write, first day of my new life. Today, I start living for myself. And I smile a real smile. For the first time in years, I'm free. 6 months later in March, I'll go back. But I won't go back to that cage. I'll sell my old apartment too big and full of sad memories. I'll buy a smaller modern one near Sarah. I'll set up a small painting studio. I'll give classes to other retired people twice a week. I'll see my grandchildren when I want on my terms. I won't accept any more last-minute requests. I won't lend any more money that I know I'll never get back. I won't plan any more parties that aren't mine. Michael will try to get closer now that Lucy is demanding that he watch his own kids. Emily will want to reconcile now that she's had to pay for expensive babysitters. I will love them. I will always love them, but I will no longer sacrifice myself for them. Because I learned something fundamental in Barcelona. Choosing myself isn't selfish, it's survival. Sometimes the family you build, the one that chooses to respect you, is stronger than the one you inherited. And if they ever take me for granted again, if they ever assume I'll be available no matter what, I'll just tell them, I'm very busy right now. Because finally, after 66 years, my life belongs to me.